Broadcasting live from the Murdicks via OBS Studio Broadcast Center at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we now bring you to the finale in our Monday tripleheader, our last Monday tripleheader of this postseason, the Predators Cup Winners Bracket Final, where either Ravenwood or Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon will claim the first place in the Predators Cup Final 1 week from Wednesday night on February 22nd, right back here in Bellevue. It's a rematch of last year's Winners Bracket Final, which Mount Juliet won in a shootout. Ravenwood then beat Brentwood in the Losers Bracket Final. Won game one to force the if necessary, and then won the if necessary to claim the title. Could history repeat? Because we have Brentwood awaiting in the Losers Bracket Final, the loser of this game between Ravenwood and Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. So we'll see what happens over the course of the next hour and a half or so, as it's a very interesting conundrum that we have here for you. The ice has already been gone over by the Zambonis, so nothing to worry about there. Now we're just waiting on both teams to take the ice. About a minute away, 20 seconds away from 8:25. Well, it's now past 8:25. Not only are we waiting the teams to come out, we're also waiting on the officials too. This folder I got with my rosters in it getting smaller and smaller, thinner and thinner, because two more rosters are going in the recycling as soon as I get home. The Father Ryan and Summit or Tennessee Outlaws rosters, they're going in the recycling since those two teams lost today, as the buzzer sounds to call both teams onto the ice. Now Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon coming on first. Now Ravenwood coming on behind them. If Ravenwood win this game, even though they're the 2 seed, they will be the home team for the Preds Cup Championship because they came out of the winners bracket. But we have to play this game first to see what happens there. So let's talk about the two teams playing this game. First up, Ravenwood, coached by Mike Driscoll. Opened the playoffs 2 weeks ago tonight with an 8-1 win over Father Ryan, and then last Monday beat Montgomery Bell 7-1. So the player stats for Ravenwood. Liam Powell is the team's leading scorer. He has 6 points from a goal and 5 assists. Zach Egley and Owen Gilroy each have 4 points from goals. Luke Powell has 4 points from 2 goals and 2 assists. Gavin Hussey, Luke Schenkel, and Sutton Kornblum each with 2 goals from each with 2 points from 1 goal and 1 assist. Jake Farrell a point from a goal. Jake Lipinski, Owen Appel, and Jack Reddy each with a point from an assist. Ryan Farrell has played both games in goal. His record 2-0. He's played 84 minutes, goals against average of 1. No shutouts. He's allowed just 2 goals on 41 shots, turned away the other 39. His save percentage in the postseason so far is .950. On about Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon, coached by Ray Balls. Opened up the Preds Cup 2 weeks ago today with a 6-2 win over the Rutherford Rampage, and then last Monday beat the Pope Prep CPA GCA 2-0. So here are their player stats coming into tonight. Jordan Antar with 4 points from 3 goals and an assist. Braylon Cox with 4 points from 2 goals and 2 assists. Ryan Woods and Kyle Alsaker each with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Wes Ray a point from a goal. Carson Slocum and Blake Bristow each with a point from an assist. Robbie Simonik has played both games in goal, so his record is 2-0. Played the full 84 minutes, goals against average of 1 even, 1 shutout. He's allowed 2 goals and 79 shots, turned away the other 77. His save percentage in the postseason so far is .970. So we're down to the final minute of pregame warm-up, and I don't know why the clock stopped. Now it's gone down to 0. Centennial USN game should be getting close to an hour old. Robbie Simonek going to start in goal for Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. Ryan Farrell going to start in goal for Ravenwood. For this first period, Mount Juliet will carry the puck from my left to right, Ravenwood from my right to left. It's been over 2 months since I last did a Mount Juliet game, that 5-2 win over MBA on December 5th. Nice time to get back to him as Ravenwood win the draw. Jake Farrell carries it into the Mount Juliet zone and fires it over the net. Now Easton Krensky carries the puck out to center. Over to Jordan Antar, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. His shot gloved and held onto by Ryan Farrell. And that takes the first 16 seconds off the clock. Ravenwood won both meetings in the regular season by the exact same score of 4-2. Draw to the right of Farrell, won by Mount Juliet, and a one-timer from Blake Bristow, stopped and held onto by Farrell. Those meetings came exactly a month apart. First meeting on November 7th, second meeting on December 7th. Draw is to the right of Farrell. Ravenwood able to clear after Mount Juliet won the draw. Easton Krensky dumps it back in, puck behind the net. Ryan Farrell leaves it for Owen Appel. Oh, now a turnover, and Kyle Allsecker brought it out in front. Puck got away from him, held in by Wes Ray at the blue line. Ray now on the right wing side, going to send it into the left wing corner. Luke Powell picks it up. Powell flips it out to center. Easton Krensky intercepts. Passes to the near side. Parker Triplett back in the Ravenwood zone. Puts it in front. Carson Slocum shot stopped and covered up by Farrell. 12:56 to go in the first. No goals on the board yet, but 3 shots on goal for Mount Juliet. Jake Farrell had one that went over the Mount Juliet net at the start of the game. Of course, we had the conundrum of Ravenwood winning the GNASH Cup because they had the best combined regular season record, while Mount Juliet ended up being the 1 seed because they had the best record of games played from November 28th onward. Gavin Hussey, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Puck taken away. They try and clear, but it's held in. Liam Powell now over to the right wing. Passing down, intercepted Ryan Woods. Parker Triplett, is it taken off his stick? Tyler Dubois. I think the puck shot on goal from the left wing because it looked like Simonik had to turn it away all of a sudden, and now Mount Juliet end up icing the puck. 12:21 to go in the first. No goals on the board yet. Draws to the left of Simonik. Won by Mount Juliet. Puck carried to center by Jordan Antar. Antar had it knocked off his stick. Braylon Cox able to flip it into the Ravenwood zone. It's cleared out by the Raptors. It's going to be an icing. It's an icing against, I think, Zach Egley. Draw is going to be to the right of Ryan Farrell. Ravenwood trying to get the puck out. They do. Jake Farrell brings it to center. Now Luke Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone with a shot. Gloved and held onto by Robbie Simonik. First shot on goal of the game for Ravenwood took 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Draw is going to be to the right of Robbie Simonik. Puck put out in front by Jake Farrell, intercepted by Blake Bristow. Clearing attempt held in on the far side. Owen Gilroy gives it back to Jordan Antar, who clears. Jack Reddy at center, drops it back. Pass to the near side, Owen Appel. Appel dumps it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Puck is behind the net. Easton Krensky. Backhanding it ahead, intercepted and kept in the zone by Gilroy. Puck sent back down low by Jake Farrell. Puck brought in front, a shot kicked away by Simonik with a right leg pad. That shot coming from Gilroy. Puck cleared out by Mount Juliet. Ravenwood get it back at center. Zach Egley, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Is it taken away by Krensky? Krensky tried to pass to the far side, and Antar, it was knocked down. Taken away and cleared out by Anthony Giampaolo. Now here is Braylon Cox, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. A shot from Jordan Antar, stopped by Farrell, Ryan Farrell, and then the rebound sent past the net. Cox passing out up top. Krensky, a shot, hit a leg and went past the net to the left of Farrell. Luke Schenkel behind the net, getting it over to the far side. Oh, gave it away. Jordan Antar puts it behind the net. Cullen McDermott gets knocked off the puck. Schenkel passing up the near side. Gavin Hussey now left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Should have passed the slot, broken up, and sent to the far boards by Blake Bristow. Out at center with it is Nealon Head, who dumps it back into the Ravenwood zone. Puck sent around the boards to the near side. Turned over and held in the zone. Now cleared out by the Raptors. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end, picked up by Tyler Dubois. Dubois passing to the near side. Now here's Luke Powell. Passing it ahead to Liam, who had to go off his stick to the near boards. He's got it back. Oh, but then he gives it away to Head. Then he pokes it off Head stick. Tyler Dubois with it now. Dubois bumped off the puck inside the Ravenwood zone. Here's Luke Powell now, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Passing up top to Lucas Brady. Pass down low, intercepted by Ryan Woods. Comes back up top to Brady. Now here's Liam Powell on the left wing. Puck got away from Powell. And Dubois clears. Owen Appel. Ahead for Cohen Landcamer, who deflects it back into the Mount Juliet zone. That's going to be brought back into the left wing side by Appel. Appel trying to pass across to Landcamer. Easton Krensky with a puck now on the far side, clears. Brady drops it back. Ooh, inside his own zone. Parker Triplett almost stole it away, but puck carrier able to bring it out. That's Luke Schenkel. He's on the left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone now. Puts it behind the net. Krensky slaps it around to the far side. Now here is Jake Lipinski on the far side. Pushed off the puck. Puck in the right wing corner. Puck comes up to the right point. Held in and a shot missed the net to the left of Robbie Simonik. So, I think it was Sutton Kornblum. Puck dumped back into the Ravenwood zone. Raptors come up with it. They give it away at center. Jordan Antar brings it back into the Ravenwood zone. Antar, right circle, a backhander went across the front of the net and wide. Puck on the near boards. Antar, now Braylon Cox puts it in front. Kyle Allsaker tied up. Nice D played there by, I think it's Lipinski. Yes, it was. Now Jake Farrell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Circle, shot stopped and held onto by Simonik. 7:31 to go in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draws to the left of Simonik. One by Ravenwood, but the puck goes all the way back into the Ravenwood zone where it's retrieved. Puck passed up the far side, and Blake Bristow didn't make an attempt to try and play it, so they wave off icing. Now Braylon Cox up, puck poked away from him as he tried to enter the Ravenwood zone. Now it's back in the Mount Juliet end. Easton Krensky fires it to the near side off the boards. Luke Powell ahead to Zach Egley. Puck knocked away from him by Cox. Braylon Cox now. Left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Tried to hand it off. It's cleared out. Cox with it again. Backhands it to the near side. Tyler Dubois, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Dubois tries to put it in front. Oh, and unable to get an angle for a shot was Carson Slocum. Back the other way come Ravenwood. Zach Egley, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, puts it in front, but Gavin Hussey has it knocked away. Now Ryan Woods passing to the far side at center. Slocum flips it out of play, trying to dump it into the Ravenwood zone. 6:17 to go in the first and no goals on the board still. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Ravenwood bench. Puck in the Ravenwood zone off the draw. Here is Tyler Dubois firing it around to the near side. Ravenwood bring it out. Jake Farrell fires it on goal from center, turned away by Simonik. Puck out on the far boards. And Mount Juliet trying to get it out, and they do. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. Zeke Landcamer over to Egley. Egley hands it off to Jake Farrell. Farrell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Drops it back. Liam Powell, a shot. Stopped and held on to. By Robbie Simonik. 5:33 to go in the first. Still no goals on the board. Juliet get the puck out off the draw, brought back in by Luke Powell. Oh, but he just as he was making his way along the blue line, he deked and pulled the puck out of the zone and then pulled it back in, or pushed the puck out of the zone and then pulled it back in, got called for offside. Drawing the dot in front of the bleachers, across from the Mount Juliet bench at center, won by Mount Juliet. Jordan Antar in the Ravenwood zone, puck knocked away from him. Puck on the near side now, picked up by Easton Krensky. Krensky back into the Ravenwood zone, a shot stopped by Farrell, and he covers up the rebound. Braylon Cox couldn't get to it. Braylon Cox, like Aiden Suss in the Outlaws Summit game before, wearing his red Nashville Spartans shorts or pants. Spartans wrapped up their regular season yesterday. I think they're playoff bound. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask league president John Williams because his son Grant, the ex-Indy goalie, plays for that team. I think he plays for the Premier team or the Elite. I'm not sure. Easton Krensky at center. Nice spin move, but he lost the puck. It's back in the Mount Juliet zone. Blake Bristow with it. Over to Krensky. Krensky passing up the far side. Jordan Antar. Antar left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Trying to send it deep. Here's Antar now. Trying to pass to the slot. Went off a stick over to the near side. Here's Jake Farrell. Now Owen Gilroy. Pass ahead, intercepted by Krensky. Krensky, lost the puck right at the blue line. Antar dumps it back in, but Cox and Krensky have to get back on side. Jake Farrell passing it off to Zach Egley, who's now in the Mount Juliet zone below the goal line. Decides to flip the puck over to the right wing corner, try and catch back up to it. Parker Triplett gives it away. Carried to the front of the net. Liam Powell, a shot off the right shoulder of Simonik. Puck comes back to the far side. Powell, a one-timer, broken up by the stick of Triplett. Now a shot from the slot, I think was Egley, was blocked. Yes, it was Egley shooting from the slot. Puck out at center. Here's Blake Bristow. Clearing it out. And it's an icing against Mount Juliet. 3:16 to go in the first. Zip, zip. Draw is going to be to the right of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. Jake Farrell. Passing it down to the low wall. Now it's on the far side. Taken away and sent towards the front of the net. Ryan Woods with it now. He'll clear. Luke Schenkel at center. Passing to the far side. Sent back to the near side. It's in the Ravenwood zone now. Schenkel tracks it down. Schenkel passes to the far side. And held in by Wes Ray. Sent into the left wing corner. Schenkel now with a slapper to try and get it out. Off the stick of Tyler Dubois. Carried out by Gilroy. Owen Gilroy into the Mount Juliet zone. Trying to pass it off to Jack Reddy, but went underneath Reddy's stick blade. Parker Triplett now back inside the Ravenwood zone. Gives it away to Owen Appel. Appel out on the far side. Falls over as he sends the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone. Ryan Woods with it. Woods passing ahead to Jordan Antar. Deflected away from Antar's stick. Lucas Brady has it poked away. Ryan Woods now back into the Ravenwood zone. Oh, but he couldn't get through the defenders. Drops it back up top. Braylon Cox, a shot. Stopped. Jordan Antar. Rebound. Puck is still loose. Cox digging away at it. And it's cleared out by the Raptors. Ryan Farrell stayed strong, and his teammates were eventually able to get it out. Luke Powell. Passing to the near side. Kyle Alsaker with it now, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Splits the defenders. Tried to center, but Antar had fallen over. Here's Cox now on the far side. Pushed into the boards. Ravenwood will get the puck out. Is it going to be an icing against the Raptors? No, waved off. Krensky will track it down. Passes over to the far side. Blake Bristow. Bristow flips it through the air. Allsaker settles it down. Right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Pass across. Oh! And then putting it back in front for Allsaker was Cox, but Allsaker couldn't get a stick on it. Now here's Luke Schenkel. Now Liam Powell. Under a minute left in the first. Powell knocked into the boards. Puck back in the Ravenwood zone. Sutton Kornblum with it. Ahead for Liam Powell. Powell now left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Powell goes to the inboards, puts it in front, and it's redirected by Egley. Stopped by Simonek, and then the rebound sent past the net by Powell in the right wing circle. 30 seconds left in the first. Puck behind the boards. Easton Krensky comes up with it. He'll clear. This will be an icing. 17.4 seconds to go in the first. Game still tied at 0 as Ravenwood got the closest they have been to scoring so far in this one. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Carson Slocum gets it into the Ravenwood zone. Here's Owen Appel behind his own net. Passing to his left. Raptors have it at center. Here's Jake Farrell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. His shot blocked, and that's it for the first. Very good end-to-end action. Ravenwood and Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon still tied at 0 at the end of one in the Predators Cup Winners Bracket Final. So within the next 30 minutes, we should get a final for Centennial USN BA Nashville Christian in the Hein Cup Winners Bracket Final. The winner of that game will play in the Hein Cup Final on Wednesday, February the 22nd, while the loser will play Wednesday night as we are ready to go for the second period. Robbie Simonek still in goal for Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood. For this second period, Ravenwood will carry the puck from my left to right, Mount Juliet from my right to left. As Jordan Antar dumps the puck into the Ravenwood zone off the draw, picked up by Owen Appel. It's out at center, Easton Krensky with it for Mount Juliet. Banks it off the far boards, back into the Ravenwood zone. It's an icing. It was just behind the red line when he dumped it. Drawn by Ravenwood, and a shot turned away by Simonek. And the puck in the Ravenwood zone, out high. Blake Bristow, a shot stopped by Farrell. Puck out on the far boards. Easton Krensky carrying it down the right wing. Pass to the slot. Kyle Allsaker, and it poked away. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Bristow with it. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. Now there's a chance for Zach Egley in the Mount Juliet zone down the right wing in front, and his shot poked away. Actually, no. He backhanded it, and it ended up in the glove of Robbie Simonik. 12:25 to go in the first. No goals on the board still 12:25 to go in the second, excuse me. And it's still 0-0 as Rich Mellon update there. 2-2 after 2 in the Hine Cup Winners Bracket final, but yeah, it was 20 minutes ago. Here's Jake Farrell trying to come out in front. Puck poked away from him. Shot in the right point, and Z-Clan camera was kicked away by Simonik. Puck still in the zone. It's on the near boards now. Puck put out in front, flicked away. Now it's in the left wing corner. Farrell back to the left circle, and a one-timer went past the net. That was, I think, was Gilroy. It was Owen Gilroy in that one-timer attempt. Puck at center. Z-Clan camera dumps it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Tyler Dubois tracks it down. Dubois behind his own net, passes to his left in triplet. Pass across to the far side, cleared out by Carson Slocum. Here's Luke Schenkel. Back up the far boards, back into the Mount Juliet zone, taken out. No, Ryan Woods lost it, and puck sent past the net from the slot, I think by Jake Farrell. No, it was Gilroy. Jack Reddy. Trying to put the puck out in front. Here's Gilroy in the slot. His shot hit a stick and went past the net to the right of Simonik. Puck on the far boards. Carson Slocum is going to ice it. 11:01 to go in the second. Still no goals on the board in this one. Draw is going to be to the right of Robbie Simonik. One by Mount Juliet, sent around the boards to the near side. And it ends up going out of play on the bleacher side of the ice. Draw is going to be to the left of Robbie Simonik. Puck out on the far boards. Kyle Alsaker passing it ahead to Jordan Antart center. Antart leading a 2-on-1. Gets it over to Braylon Cox. Cox's shot stopped and held onto by Ryan Farrell. Draw was to the right of Farrell, won by Mount Juliet, and Alsaker with a shot that's turned away by Farrell. Puck now over on the far boards. And it's going to end up being iced by the Raptors, iced specifically by Owen Appel. 10:27 to go in the second. Still no goals on the board. Centennial win 4-2. Centennial, the 6th seed, into the Hine Cup final 1 week from Wednesday night. Jack Reddy, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. His shot past the net to the left of Semenuk, who just got a glove on it, although it was going wide anyway. Braylon Cox getting knocked down. Ravenwood will clear. Krensky passing to the near side, Bristow. Oh, his clearing attempt intercepted. Owen Gilroy, a shot off the left leg pad of Semenuk. Gilroy, another shot from below the right circle. Turned away by Semenuk. Now Kyle Alsaker back into the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Sending the puck down into the right wing corner. Antar knocked away from him. Gilroy tried to clear, intercepted. Easton Krensky knocked down in front. Comes back up top. Krensky shot in the left point. Went off a leg into the left wing corner. Now Antar behind the net. Getting it over to the far side, Ryan Woods. Second in front of the net. It was deflected, and I don't know if it missed or not. Wes Ray got the tip. I'm not sure if it missed or if Farrell got a piece. I think it missed. Here come Ravenwood. Owen Appel dumps the puck into the Mount Juliet zone. Puck is behind the net. Picked up by Ryan Woods. It's out at center. Wes Ray had it poked off his stick. Sent back into the Ravenwood zone from center by Easton Krensky. Wes Ray now on the far side, lost it. Sutton Cornblum, I think, passing to the near side, puck in the Mount Juliet zone. Ryan Woods clears it out. Jake Lipinski dumps it back in. Ravenwood having to get back on side. And the puck ends up being iced by Easton Krensky. Halfway down the zone. Halfway down the Mount Juliet zone. 8:28 to go in the second. Still no goals on the board in this one. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Carson Slocum. Now it's intercepted at center by Ravenwood and brought back in on the left wing side. Luke Schenkel, left point, tapping the puck down the wall. Past the slot, Liam Powell trying to get it in front to Gavin Hussey that was broken up. Comes up top to Zeke Landcamer. Past the slot, a shot. Sticked away by Semenuk. There's a one-timer from the slot that hit a body and went past the net. That was Zach Egley with a one-timer there. Here's Liam Powell on the left wing. Powell holding. Putting it behind the net. Hussey. Trying to put it in front, and it's out in front of the net. Tyler Dubois carries it away. It's still in the zone. Carson Slocum dropping it behind the net. Ryan Woods is going to end up icing it. 7:24 to go in the second. Still no goals on the board. Shots on goal favoring Ravenwood 14-11. Ravenwood win the draw, and a shot was tipped by a stick, still came towards the net, and Robbie Semenuk decides to knock it into the netting above the glass with his own stick. Owen Appel with the initial shot. Draw is to the right of Semenuk. Oh, won by Ravenwood, but it splits the defenders, goes into the Ravenwood zone, tracked down by Luke Powell. Powell banks it off the near boards and out. Blake Bristow. Passing to the far side. Kritzky gives it away inside his own zone. There's a shot by Reddy. Stopped. And then the rebound set past the net by Jake Farrell. Left leg pad save, and then an initial shot from Reddy by Robbie Semenuk. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. Raptors clear it out. Back in the Ravenwood zone, Raptors with it again. Luke Powell passing to the far side. Now it's passed up the near side, deflected into the Mount Juliet zone. Cleared out. Now Owen Appel. It's back in the Ravenwood, Mount Juliet's on the left wing side. Score! Not sure who it is just yet. Looks like it's Gilroy. Owen Gilroy from the bottom of the left circle, able to slide it into the back of the net. And Ravenwood take a 1-0 lead with 6:12 to go in the second. Draw one by Ravenwood. Liam Powell drops it back. Zach Egley's shot just missed the net to the left of Simonik. Powell comes out to the left wing. Drops it down the wall to the left wing corner. Here's Luke Schenkel. Trying to backhand it in front. Parker Triplett comes up with it. Puck sent around the boards to the near side. Cleared out by Carson Slocum. Ravenwood trying to clear it out of their zone now. Puck is behind the net. Oh, and a shot in the left point. Bristow had to be turned away by Farrell. Ryan Farrell as it came his way. Bristow flips it on goal from center. Farrell again having to make the save. Ravenwood with a puck behind their own net. Dropped back to Schenkel. Schenkel now steps out to his left, passes ahead to Liam Powell. Powell into the Mount Juliet zone. Could not get around Blake Bristow. Puck goes to the right wing corner, put in front, and shot past the net from in front by Luke Powell. Now here is Blake Bristow clearing it out. Luke Powell with it at center. Flip through the air. Now Jake Farrell. Oh, puck got away from him. Parker Triplett with it now. Puck on the far boards at center. Backhanded back into the Mount Juliet zone. Easton Krensky. Skates to center. Krensky. Runs into Powell. And the puck cleared out. Now it's dumped back into the Ravenwood zone. Luke Schenkel slaps it around to the far side. Held in Kyle Olsaker, his shot blocked. Puck on the far boards again. Braylon Cox now in the right circle. Cox. Jordan Antar backhanding it to the slot, whiffed on by Kyle Olsaker. Here's Ryan Woods trying to pass the slot, intercepted by Owen Gilroy. Put in front for Jake Farrell, who was tied up with Olsaker. Here's Antar. Now Braylon Cox. Puck poked off his stick as he crossed the Ravenwood blue line. Cleared out by the Raptors. Shot from Liam Powell at the other end, blockered away by Simonik. And then the rebound sent past the net from the left circle by, I think, Gilroy. Yeah, it was Gilroy. Another shot on goal from the left point. Stopped and then scooped up off the ice by Simonik with his glove. 3:07 to go in the second. 1-0 Ravenwood still. Draw to the right of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. Shot, oh, turned away by Simonik from the slot. That was Jack Reddy, I think. Here's Owen Appel, right point, his shot. Went over the net. Was touched by a high stick. Cleared down ice by Mount Juliet on goal. Ryan Farrell having to make the stop. Now here's Luke Powell dumping the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone. It's on the far boards. Puck put out in front and off a stick and into the glove of Simonik. 2:30 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Puck on the near side. Mount Juliet will clear. Now here's Liam Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Over to the right wing, shot it past the net. Puck passed out up top. Anthony Giampaolo clears. Here's Gavin Hussey. Hussey passing up the far side. Here's now Liam Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Passes off to Luke Schenkel. Schenkel drops it back up top. Liam Powell. Powell in the slot. Hold. Shot. Oh! Off the glove of Simonik and past the net it went. Pass back to the slot. Schenkel a shot. Missed the net to the left of Simonik. Puck out on the far boards. Mount Juliet trying to clear. Held in. Liam Powell up, stumbled a bit, trying to go to the right wing side. Mount Juliet come up with a puck. It's Bristow. He flips it out. Hit the skate of Luke Schenkel. This goes back into the Ravenwood zone, so icing waved off. Schenkel sending it around to the near side boards. Bristow holds it in left point. Fires it towards the right wing corner. Kicked away by Schenkel. Puck brought out by Ravenwood. Here's Zach Egley, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot hit the mask of Simonik. Rebound, score! Egley's initial shot at the mask of Simonik. And it was the trailer who put the puck into the back of the net. Not sure who it is just yet. It was Jake Farrell. So right as we enter the final minute of the second, Ravenwood take a 2-0 lead, 59.1 seconds to go in the period. Jordan Antar dumping the puck back into the Ravenwood zone, but Braylon Cox had to get back on side. Puck out on the far boards. Here's Jack Reddy now, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, taking a shot, knocked away by Simonik. Under 30 seconds left of the period. Puck passed out up top, Jordan Antar pokes it away. Antar has it poked away from him at center by Appel. Puck back in the Ravenwood zone. Appel in the left wing corner, passing it up the wall. It's cleared out. There's a chance for Liam Powell. Oh, Powell couldn't get away, get around Tyler Dubois. It comes to the front of the net, and Simonik covers. 3.7 seconds to go in the period. But Danny Corns held the clock. He didn't start the clock right away, so he's going to buzz and say that's the end of the period. Owen Gilroy and Jake Farrell with the goals for Ravenwood here in the second, as they have a 2-0 lead over Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon at the end of 2 in the Predators Cup Winners Bracket Final. Robbie Simonik still in goal for Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood for this third period. Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon will carry the puck from my left to right. Ravenwood from my right to left. As third period is underway, Gavin Hussey, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Past the sliders, a shot, turned away by Seminec, rebound, score, it's Egley. Zach Egley continues to have a tremendous postseason. He's now scored 5 goals. And Ravenwood extend the lead to 3-0, just 10 seconds into the third. 13:50 to go in regulation. And official confirmation on the GNASH website of the Centennial win over USNBA Nashville Christian. Puck in the Ravenwood zone now. And here's a shot at the other end and turned away by Seminec, and then Egley fired it wide, and Egley backed into the net and dislodged it. Draw to the right of Seminec. Tyler Dubois with it. Now here's Tyler Dubois, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Putting the puck out in front of what's in the crease. Farrell laid out for it. Now Bobby Camos with it. But he gives it away. Cleared out by the Raptors. Camos pokes it back in. Camos below the left circle, trying to put it in front for Cullen McDermott, but we have a penalty. It's the first penalty of the game. It's an interference call. And it is against Zeke Landcamer. So Mount Juliet get the first power play of the entire game, trailing 3-0 with 12:23 to go in regulation. Draws to the left of Ryan Farrell. Won by Mount Juliet. Easton Krinsky, a shot blockered away by Farrell. Puck out in front. Clearing attempt, knocked down by Krinsky. Oh, but he was past the blue line. But he brings it back in offside. So they'll drop the puck at center in front of the bleachers across from the Ravenwood bench. Mount Juliet win the draw. Easton Krinsky over to Blake Bristow, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Krinsky, slap shot, stopped by Farrell. Rebound knocked away from the crease, still in the zone though. Puck carried around the back of the net, and Ravenwood will clear. It's on goal. Robbie Seminec has to stop. Now he's got to clear it because he had a Ravenwood player coming at him. Now here's Ryan Woods back in the Ravenwood zone. Got around Owen Appel, but Appel gave him a push and caused him to stumble a bit. Krinsky, a one-timer from up high, turned away by Farrell with a stick. Puck on the left wing corner. And there's a penalty coming up against Ravenwood. Woods hit a man in the left wing corner. He wanted a call. It was Luke Powell, and Powell slashed his stick. So Mount Juliet now have a 59-second 5-on-3, 11:22 to go in regulation. They trail 3-0. They got to convert this 5-on-3, and they got to convert it quick. And Ravenwood are going to opt to use their timeout here. So Mount Juliet with the first two power plays of the game occurring at the same time, well, kind of at the same time. So on Wednesday in the Hine Cup Losers Bracket Final, it'll be USNBA Nashville Christian, the 4th seed, taking on 5-seeded Summit Page. USN won the first game on opening night of the playoffs 2 weeks ago today, 7-2. So Summit will be looking for revenge. That would knock USN out if they could get revenge. Timeout done. Draw's going to be to Ryan Farrell's right. It's won by Mount Juliet. Kyle Olsecker to the slot. Braylon Cox's one-timer is blocked. So there's 59 seconds left in the 5-on-3 when this play started. Puck out at center. Braylon Cox with it. Passing to the far side. Easton Krinsky goes across to the near side. And Cox, it's poked away from him. Liam Powell into the Mount Juliet zone. Powell crossing to the right wing. A shot turned away by Robbie Simonik. 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Here's Krinsky to center. Krinsky back into the Ravenwood zone. Down the slot. Puck knocked away by Schenkel. Sent up top. Kyle Olsecker shot blocked. Then is back in to try block or turned away by Farrell. And then he gets the rebound and shoots it into Farrell's chest. 14 seconds left in the 5-on-3. 10:37 to go in regulation. Still 3-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the right of Farrell. Well, Ravenwood won the draw. They managed to get it out. Here is Easton Krinsky inside his own zone. Ahead to Braylon Cox. Cox. Now Blake Bristow. Bristow for the 5-on-3 is done. So now Mount Juliet have a 5-on-4 for about a minute. Puck poked to the front of the net. Stopped by Farrell. Comes back up to the right point in Bristow. And Bristow up. Tried to drop it back, but Krinsky had to exit the zone to chase it down. Krinsky inside his own end now. Krinsky. Pass ahead intercepted. Owen Appel and then taken back by Mount Juliet. Bristow. Puck up against the near boards. Under 30 seconds left of the 5-on-4. Appel digs it loose and he will clear. Krinsky with it. Krinsky. Oh, pass ahead was knocked down by a Ravenwood stick, but it exited the zone anyway. Here's Krinsky now, puck back inside his end. His own end, his defensive end. Penalty time against Ravenwood is up. They're back at even strength as Kyle Olsecker as the puck poked off his stick. Now Ryan Woods with it for Mount Juliet. Left wing side of the Ravenwood zone, gets off a shot, turned away by Farrell. Here's Lucas Brady at center on the near side. Gets it into the Mount Juliet zone. Olsecker clears. Jordan Antar. Fires it off the far wall, sent back the other way. Oh, and there's a chance for Brady. Catches up to it, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Gets up a shot that's blocked. Broken up by the stick of Woods. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. Luke Powell. Behind his own net. Steps out to his right. Passes ahead, Cohen Landcamer. Hands it off Brady. Left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Brady, a shot off the stick of Tyler Dubois into the netting above the glass. 8:15 left in regulation. It is still 3-0 Ravenwood. Draw was to the right of Simonik. Ravenwood with it, but turned over to Mount Juliet. Parker Triplett. Now Carson Slocum at center. Into the Ravenwood zone, right wing side. With a shot blockered away by Farrell. I don't know if it was a shot or a centering pass to Wes Ray looking for a tip. Because Ray went across the front of the net. Ray with it now, left wing side. Gets up a shot, blockered away by Farrell. Here's Slocum behind the net. Sent around to the near side. Now it's at the far boards. Dubois, it poked away. Passed ahead to Owen Gilroy. Center a 2-on-1 for Ravenwood. Gilroy, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Just takes a shot, turned away by Simonik. He had Jake Farrell with him. Now a one-timer from the blue line, and Luke Schenkel is stopped and held onto by Simonik. 7:21 to go in regulation. Still 3-0 Raptors. Draws to the right of Simonik. One by Ravenwood. Puck sent around the boards to the far side. Jordan Antar clears. Picked up by Luke Powell. In the Ravenwood zone. He'll clear it to center. Easton Krensky. Stretch pass up the near side. Braylon Cox it poked away right at the Ravenwood blue line. Liam Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Round defenders in front. Try to put it in front for, I think, Gavin Hussey. But that was stolen by Mount Juliet. They bring it back out. Here's Braylon Cox, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Dumps it to the end boards. Puck comes around to the far side. And Ravenwood are going to clear. It's going to be an icing against the Raptors. 6:31 to go in regulation. Still 3-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the right of Ryan Farrell. Ravenwood with it. And they're going to end up icing it again. Draw was to the left of Farrell, won by Ravenwood. They try and clear, held in by Mount Juliet. Jordan Antar behind the net. Trying to stuff it in from the near side. And they blow the whistle. Oh, it's in! Antar managed to bang it in. Antar managed to stuff it in from the left-hand side of the net. Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon on the board. It's 3-1 Ravenwood with 6:10 to go in regulation. Ravenwood not happy about that goal being called. A couple of the officials over at the bench talking to Mike Driscoll. Draw one by Ravenwood. Jake Farrell into the Mount Juliet zone. Bumps up against Easton Krensky. Here's a shot who went through the crease. I think it was Liam Powell shooting that. Correction, it was Jack Reddy. Here's Owen Gilroy trying to get it down the slot to Farrell. Now there's Jordan Antar out at center. Trying to backhand it over to Braylon Cox. Poked away from Cox. Puck sent into the Ravenwood zone, but Raptors with it and they clear. Krensky. Oh, pass went off a Ravenwood stick and out of play. .5:39 to go in regulation. Still 3-1 Ravenwood. Draw on the dot in front of the Mount Juliet bench. One by Ravenwood. Zach Egley in the Mount Juliet zone. Backhands it past the net. Tyler Dubois in the right wing corner. Passing to the near side, Ryan Woods. Woods exits the zone. Had the puck poked away from him. It's cleared out of the Mount Juliet end again. Now Liam Powell. Ahead to Egley off his stick. Parker Triplett brings it back into the Ravenwood zone. His shot slowed up by a Ravenwood stick. Went to the inboards. Puck in the left wing corner. And sent across the front of the net. Ravenwood get it out. Here's Luke Schenkel. Left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Puts it in front. Oh, but Liam Powell had his stick, or is it Gavin Hussey? I think it's Hussey. Had his stick tied up by Carson Slocum. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. Zeke Landkammer banks it off the near glass and out. Ryan Woods had it poked away from him as he entered the Ravenwood zone. Cleared up ice. This will be an icing against Ravenwood. 4:24 to go in regulation. It's still 3-1 Raptors. Draws to the right of Farrell. And Braylon Cox kicked off the dot in favor of Kyle Alsaker. Draw one by Mount Juliet, but turned over to the Raptors. Cleared out to the Mount Juliet zone. Easton Krensky with it. Krensky into the Mount Ravenwood end, leaves it for Braylon Cox. Cox shot from the slot, stopped by Farrell, and the rebound cleared out of the zone. Blake Bristow catches up to it in the Mount Juliet zone. Flips it through the air. Jordan Antar, now Braylon Cox, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Now it comes out in front to Alsaker, who then tried to drop it back over to Cox. Put in front for Antar, hit his leg. Cox now on the left wing side. Ravenwood trying to get it out. Antar holds it in. Shot in the right circle. Stopped. And the rebound try from Alsaker. Stopped and covered up by Ryan Farrell. 3:37 to go in regulation. Still 3-1 Ravenwood. Draw is to the left of Farrell. Draw one by Mount Juliet. A shot from Blake Bristow was blocked. Sutton Kornblum dumps it into the Mount Juliet zone. Here is Easton Krensky with it behind his own net. Krensky. Stretch pass at the near side to center. Jordan Antar. Antar. Pass across. Oh, hopped over the stick of Kyle Alsaker. Puck back in the Ravenwood zone. Raptors have it. And a clearing attempt, pass attempt went off the skate of Antar, stayed in the zone. Zach Egley will track it down. Egley fires it off the far boards to center. Blake Bristow. Now Antar. Now Wes Ray brings it into the Ravenwood zone, but he takes a bump from Schenkel. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Here's Alsaker. Oh, almost had it taken away. Here's Easton Krensky. Had the puck poked off his stick right at the Ravenwood blue line. Luke Schenkel brings it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Knocked down from behind by Alsaker. Now Easton Krensky leading a 3-on-2. Right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. His shot missed the net to the left of Farrell. Puck cleared out. Oh, and Ravenwood player getting knocked down in front of his own bench. Was that Slocum? Yeah, it was Slocum standing over him. Are they telling, oh, they're going to throw Slocum out of the game. So it's a power play for Ravenwood. Their first of the game, by the way. Comes with 2:17 left in regulation, and the Raptors up 3-1. I guess Mount Juliet called a timeout. Nope. So who's that sitting in the box for? Is that Wes Ray serving the penalty for Slocum? I'm not sure. Draw is to the left of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. Luke Powell, right point. His shot blocked away by Simonik. Puck passed over to the right wing side. A shot, score. Liam Powell fires it into the back of the net to convert the power play open. Got a Ravenwood player battling with Bristow and Alsaker. As Easton Krensky drags Bristow out of there, and Bristow is going to be the next one kicked out. So it's 4-1 Ravenwood with 2:01 to go in regulation. And they pretty much won the game. I'm not sure who that Ravenwood player that was pushing with Alsaker and Bristow was. So the holdup is to assess the penalties that happened. I mean, You can't have guys getting kicked out of a game like Slocum and Bristow when you have one more left, at least one more left. It's too important. Way too important. So now we could be almost at the end of the game by now, but we had to have this silly garbage. So it looks like Ravenwood are on their way to the Predators Cup final, unless they really have a collapse here in the next 2:01. They now have a 4-1 lead after Liam Powell's power play goal. I'm sure Mike Driscoll is reminding his guys, hey, we have a short bench. You can't act up. Oh, wow. Blake Bristow with 7 minutes of penalties. Yikes. Penalty against Slocum should be taken off the board since that was converted. I'm not sure who's in the box for Ravenwood. They've taken the penalty off the board, the Slocum penalty off the board, but left up the Bristow. Wow, Ravenwood going to finish the game with 7 seconds of power play time. Now Juliet win the draw, dump it into the Ravenwood zone. Yeah, I'm sure Mike Driscoll is reminding his guys, hey, we have 15 skaters and 2 goalies. Let's watch the anger. Let's not get dumb penalties called. Jake Farrell to center. Into the Mount Juliet zone. A shot off the stick of Ryan Woods into the netting above the glass. 87 seconds left in regulation. 6:27. Yes, 6:27 left on Ravenwood's power play. The Raptors up 4-1. Puck on the far boards. Jackson Blevins will clear. Now Juliet shorthanded, so shorthanded for the rest of the game. Ravenwood dumped the puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Cleared out by the Golden Bears. Last minute of regulation now. Ravenwood player hanging out behind his own net with the puck. Now he comes out with it to his left. Sutton Kornblum, I think. Now he passes to the far side. Jackson Blevins tried to send it to the front of the net. That was broken up. Intercepted by Jake Lipinski. Pass to center, hopped over the stick of Lucas Brady. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. 30 seconds to go now. Easton Krensky fires it back into the Ravenwood zone. Sutton Kornblum behind his own net with it. Steps out to his right. Now decides to curl back behind his own net and let the clock run down. Cullen McDermott and Ryan Farrell with a fist bump. The Ravenwood Raptors going back to the Predators Cup final as they beat Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 4-1. What a victory for the Raptors. So it'll be Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon playing Brentwood in the losers bracket final on Wednesday night at Centennial. So Ravenwood will hit the ice again 1 week from Wednesday night. So let me retweet the score real quick. All right. So the only goal for Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon scored by Jordan Antar. The Ravenwood goals came from Owen Gilroy, Jake Farrell, Zach Egley, and Liam Powell. I'm going to name Zach Egley player of the game. He had a goal and an assist as Ravenwood win this one 4-1. So the night in GNASH is done. And our scores tonight, final scores tonight. In the Predators Cup Losers Bracket semifinal, it was Brentwood beating Father Ryan 4-3 in overtime. In the Hein Cup Losers Bracket semi, Summit Page beating the Tennessee Outlaws 4-3 in overtime. Hein Cup Winners Bracket final, Centennial beating USNBA Nashville Christian 4-2. And just now in the Predators Cup Winners Bracket final, Ravenwood beating Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 4-1. So on Wednesday night at Centennial on Rink A, it's the Losers Bracket Finals, 7:10. The Hein Cup Losers Bracket Finals, Summit Page and USNBA Nashville Christian. Then at 8:40, Brentwood taking on Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. We'll have both of those games for you. Be in the air at 7:05 for a 7:10 face-off for Summit and USN. And then 8:35 pregame for an 8:40 face-off between Brentwood and Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. Well, tremendous night of hockey here in Bellevue. Our last Monday triple header of the postseason. First spot in the Predators Cup final has been claimed. Our on-air finals tonight, Brentwood 4, Father Ryan 3 in overtime in the Preds Cup Losers Bracket semifinal. Summit Page 4, Tennessee Outlaws 3 in overtime in the Hein Cup Losers Bracket semifinal. And just now in the Predators Cup Winners Bracket final, Ravenwood 4, Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 1. Ravenwood claiming the first spot in February 22nd's Henry Hein Cup final. I'm Michael Hackney. Thank you all so much for listening tonight. Good night, everybody from Bellevue. Talk to you Wednesday from Centennial for the Losers Bracket Finals. Good night.